listening to the IELTS podcast. Learn from tutors and ex-examiners who are masters of IELTS preparation. Your host, Ben Worthington.
Hello there, IELTS podcast listeners. In this episode, we're going to be talking with Lee Nu, who's got some exciting news to share regarding her IELTS exam. So, how are you doing today, Lee Nu?
I feel great. I'm in fact happy to have an interview like this with the manager of IELTS podcast.
Super. So, Lee Nu, where are you based at the moment?
I'm basically from India, but
Right.
at the moment I'm residing in United Arab Emirates.
Oh,
Dubai,
in the United Arab Emirates.
Yeah.
I see. And what are you working? What is your job there?
Professionally, I am a pharmacist.
Ah, interesting. And why are you taking the IELTS exam?
Actually, I had a plan for immigration because the job plans in UAE is not that stable, especially in these days.
Mm-hmm.
So we are planning for immigration to either Australia or Canada.
Interesting. When you said we, is it you and your family?
Yes, and of course.
Interesting. You said you're working as a pharmacist in the United Arab Emirates. Is that right?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. So you need the IELTS exam to help you get to Canada, correct? Or Australia?
Yes, you are right.
Right, I see. And how has that been complicated because of COVID?
Yes. I
Yeah.
have to admit
How, I'm sorry to hear that, but how has it affected you? How has COVID had an impact?
that. Okay. Initially, it was about the exam date.
Mm-hmm.
The date of IELTS examination. Maybe you were also aware of that. But actually, what happened here in UAE is they were keep on postponing the date
Mm.
due to the strict regulations over here.
I
So
see.
for the immigration, me and my partner, both of us have to appear the exam.
Okay, I see. So with the test dates continually changing, it was
Yeah.
hard to actually just sit down and get the exam complete.
Yeah. So we were only on the halfway procedures. I couldn't complete the processings.
Right. Interesting. And so you had that challenge and you had these different dates and cancellations and
Yeah.
so on, but eventually you managed to sit down and take the exam, right?
Yes, yeah. You're right.
Gotcha. And what challenges did you have before even booking an exam? Like, what challenges did you have preparing for the exam?
Yeah. Basically, my major concern was in writing session of the IELTS exam. To be frank, I have written 3 IELTS exams
Mm-hmm.
before attending IELTS podcast coaching.
Right. Okay. And so when you joined us, you were looking to solve the issue with the writing, right?
Especially with essay writing, yes.
Essay writing. I see. What were the problems you were facing specifically with your writing?
If you ask me, I should be frank that I really didn't know what were the problems because I was stuck up at 6.5, and whenever I consulted with other IELTS tutors,
Yeah.
actually I have taken another face-to-face coaching here itself in UAE,
Right.
but it was helpful in many other ways, but in fact the writing part was not helping me with this type of coaching.
Interesting.
They were not band specific. That was the problem. They were coaching excellent. Everything is fine. They were not band specific. They were not looking for people to improve with their bands. They are only looking for the best scores or the desired scores, like say it's maybe 6.5. That's it. They're
I-
not looking beyond that.
Interesting. So it was kind of like a general approach to
Yes,
improving scores.
yeah. And in fact, I have also had a coaching individual based.
Mm, I see. With a
Yeah.
tutor that you found in the United Arab Emirates?
Yes, yes, here in Sharjah, and he's teaching as well as in Dubai.
Right. I see.
Mhm.
And how was that tutor?
That was also only for writing. You
Mm.
will not believe. For the writing part, I have done so many research works, and finally, I got this amazing coaching session.
Awesome. But that was the amazing coaching session was with the private tutor, did you say? Or was it with us? I didn't
Yeah,
hear.
with IELTS podcast only.
Okay.
The tutor helped me to improve my vocabulary. I must say that.
Uh,
Uh, but
awesome.
then that didn't have an impact on my IELTS score.
Oh no. Who didn't? We didn't, or the tutor didn't?
Now that I think I'm confusing you. In the previous sessions with my coach here in UAE,
Yeah.
we had a lot of vocabulary sessions improving due to the not due to, what I can say is the practice sessions,
Right.
individual corrections. All these practice modules were perfect. I felt that there is some improvement while
Mm.
doing the coaching here itself. But
Ah,
still, when it came to the exam point of view, there was no change in the score.
I see. I see. So even though the tutoring, you did feel like you were improving, you did feel like you improved your vocabulary. However, come exam day, you were still at 6.5, right?
Yes,
I
exactly.
see.
That's
I
what
see.
happened.
I see. I was confused before, but I was confused if you was talking about our coaching or the.
I'm so sorry for that.
No, no, no problem. No problem. So um, what specific doubts did you have before joining with us, before joining IELTS podcast?
As I told you before, in fact, I had to know what are the mistakes I am making. That was my mistake. That was my issue.
Okay, so your concerns were you wanted to know what was going wrong
Yeah,
with
because
your
from the
score.
previous analysis from my other tutors,
Mm,
they said the grammar is okay, the grammar is fine. But the problem is with the length of the sentence. I used to write lengthy sentences. Then
mm,
they asked me to get practice writing it in a short and crisp manner. But then I found it really difficult because when my writing style itself is like, making it lengthy like that. That
mm.
was an issue. I felt maybe that was the reason I am stuck in 6.5. But other than that, I was not aware of my mistakes.
I see. I see. So you're talking about like grammar mistakes and what other kind of mistakes were you making? Or what mistakes did you discover you were
Oh,
making?
once I started with working with one of your colleague, I feel Ms. Daphne,
Yeah.
she really needs an appreciation for helping me out reach this score. Working with her really helped me, to be frank, and I'm very thankful to her. Uh,
Excellent.
the thing is, the way she made me feel how to improve my writing style,
Mm.
that had a different impact on me. And from that point of view, when I started thinking, like, these are the errors or minute mistakes that may hold back me, then
Mm.
there started some kind of some changes in my way of writing and way of approach towards the essay.
Excellent. So when Daphne started giving you the feedback, then you started
Exactly.
feeling better about your
Yes,
work and it seems like you started to improve
yes,
faster as well.
yes.
Interesting.
I think it was only a 2 weeks period that we had the course with Daphne.
Only 2 weeks.
I think yes. Yeah.
And that was sufficient? That was enough for you to improve your band score?
In the beginning, I had a doubt whether it will be sufficient for me.
Mm-hmm.
But then I thought because the dates, everything has, you know, somehow the other way I had to choose the dates like that. So I
Yeah.
thought that I will make the best out of this time period.
Uh-huh. I
Somehow
see.
it worked.
So you said that you had some doubts about it working in 2 weeks. What were your doubts?
No, actually, this is a feedback-based coaching.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to know how long it will take for me to improve my corrections.
Oh, so you
Even
had,
if even with the feedbacks from a professional tutor,
yeah.
we have to do our own hard work from our side. Then only it will help
Hmm.
altogether.
Yes,
I was
exactly.
wondering if this time period would be sufficient for me to improve myself, or like learning the way how Daphne wants me to do.
Mm.
That was
Int
my basic concern
right.
while doing the course.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I can totally understand. You were a bit skeptical about having this kind of feedback-based course, but I think you hit the nail on the head, Linu, when you said it relied on the feedback, the
Yes,
framework, and
yes,
you mentioned something very important, your hard work, because you put in a lot of hard work in writing the essays that we were sending you. Is that right?
yeah,
It seems like
yes,
it.
yes. I made sure that there was no delay between the essays. Like if you give me one topic to prepare, it's
Mm-hmm.
very important me to write about that topic the same day itself. And then
Yes.
after sending the essay, and then I do the research work on that to know the related vocabularies or even the ideas. I rarely read so many essays or articles these days. I really don't get time to do that. But
In,
still, for this purpose, we have to find time to read the contemporary, I mean, the current affairs.
absolutely, yes, yes. So just let me get this straight. So you received an essay question, and which did you do first? Did you research the question, or did you just write it straight away?
I think only the sample, the first question, the first essay, I did some research and I took
Mm-hmm.
some time without any, even in the question frame, it was like that. We can take whatever time, how much ever we need, we can take.
Mm-hmm.
So to relax and then write. So in that case, I made the research and then only I started writing the essay. Later on, I used to keep the time frame. Within 40 minutes itself, I used to complete and send it.
Ah, okay. So at first you did it immediately. No, at first you did a little bit of research, but then
Yeah,
once you
yeah,
got more comfortable, you jumped straight in. As soon as you got the question, you got your previous essay, you reviewed
yeah.
that, you took note of your mistakes, and then you jumped into writing your new essay, correct?
Moreover, the sentence guide is really a helping factor. So much of the time-consuming portions were reduced due to the this one, no, that framework which
Yes.
we have made in that sentence guide. So
Yes.
of course, and the time which I used to take before was only for framing those words or those sentences. Once we got that idea clearly, and with the help of Daphne, she even helped me to improve those framework also, like
Ah.
how to place those framework in that particular situation, depending on the essay question.
Beautiful, beautiful. Wow. Once you got to grips with the framework, you dropped your ideas into it.
Yeah.
Then Daphne even gave you feedback about how you can use this sentence guide framework related to the question. Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This. So, what at what point did you realize that this was working well for you? When you started getting feedback or when you discovered the framework? What point did it start working well for you, Lena?
I should say both worked well in my case, but
Uh,
it depends on the individuals. But in
yeah.
my case, both had a clear impact.
Yeah.
And
Sorry,
it's reflected on my score.
I think you misunderstood the question. I think what the question was, like, did you realize immediately this was working well, or halfway through the course you thought this is working good, or at the end?
By the middle, by the halfway, I came to know that there is a major difference happening.
Interesting. Can you remember any details that kind of that made you think, oh yes, this is working well for me?
In fact, I don't remember now well.
Okay.
But especially with the grammar, I should say. I was thinking the grammar is correct, somewhat better. But then sometimes even the grammatical errors, we might leave that. We may think, yeah, this is fine, this is okay with this scenario. But then later on, after the feedback only, we will start thinking, okay, this is not the right grammar there. This is not the appropriate thing to be put in that place.
Interesting.
So
And
even I started feeling like, yeah, I have to change this kind of verbs. Some general verbs and all, which we generally speak in the spoken language.
Interesting. So it was kind of like one of the details that you remembered, sort of like I kind of demonstrated that you were improving, was when you started getting some feedback on your grammar and you needed to make it more academic. Is that right?
Exactly.
Very interesting. Yes. I remember when I used to correct essays. I still do every now and again, but I would see a lot of spoken English in the essay, and it sounds okay because that's how we use it when we're talking. That's how we talk, and you probably hear it on television as well. But for the IELTS exam, we have to transform it, and it's not until we get feedback that we realize we could be making mistakes. Yeah. Interesting. Is it so you had Daphne correcting your essays, right?
Yes.
Right then. Is there anything else you would like to share about working with Daphne that we haven't covered yet?
Working with Daphne made me more comfortable with not only with language, but I feel there was a positive influence.
Beautiful. Why was
she kept on believing in me, and she kept on encouraging. So something in that way also it helped me to give more confidence for the exam.
So it was when you're getting your essay correction back, you felt kind of like empowered and more confident. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. I think I'll just digress for a second here, but I think a lot of tutors just focus on the writing and just focus on the mistakes. Then a decent tutor will also focus on what's going well. But an amazing tutor, like what we have here at IELTS Podcast, if I don't mind saying, with Ellen and Daphne and myself, but with us, with us, we really try not only the first two levels of just picking up mistakes, but also saying what's going well, but also inspiring and motivating the student. And also not just doing it blindly, but if the student has done well, it needs to be recognized, because that's how we build confidence, and confidence is such an important element. Of course.
Yes, you said it.
Yeah, it's not covered in cohesion and coherence. You're not going to get a confidence grade, or like you do with a lexical resource, for example. However, having a high level of confidence, just it'll make you relax better. You'll feel better. You're going to write better. It's such an integral part, I think, to exam preparation. So Linu, what scores did you finally get once you managed to book this test and sit the test and get your results back?
Okay, for my scores for the listening, I scored 9.
Wow, awesome, well done, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
9.
And then for the speaking and reading, my score was 7, and for the writing, from this 0.5 I jumped to 7.5.
Say that again, please.
For the writing session, my score is 7.5.
7.5?
Yes.
Wow, and before this it was how much?
6.5 always.
Oh my word. So it's 3 tests at 6.5 and
Yes,
then
yes,
you jumped to 7.5.
yes. That's what happened.
Wow. Well done, Linu. That
Thank you.
is amazing. Well done.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And yeah, so and that band improvement, that was because of the feedback, the framework, and your hard work. All 3 factors, yeah?
Yes, of course.
Anything else other than those 3 factors?
No, I feel these three factors are the most important things that help me to achieve this goal.
Yeah, yeah. It's a really good point. I always talk about exam skills and language skills, and I often overlook the hard work. But you're totally right. It's all 3. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. So well
Yeah,
done.
when the hard work, sometimes we feel we are fed up with writing it. In my case, maybe people are there who are trying more than 3 or 4 times, still trying to get the desired score. But the
Mm,
determination is also a part of achievement.
exactly. And getting fed up it's so important just to keep yourself motivated. And again, this is why a good tutor not only spots mistakes, not only recognizes what you've done, but keeps you motivated as well. Because I know exactly what you mean, Linu.
Okay.
It's so challenging doing exam after exam after exam, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, that's what happens with most of the candidates, I feel.
Yeah, totally, totally. And Linu, Band
Yeah.
9 in the listening. That is incredible. You have to tell us how you got Band 9, please.
In fact, there was no magic. I didn't prepare that much, but only, as I told you, this is my fourth test with IELTS. So
Right.
whenever I was preparing for IELTS, I made sure that I will do daily minimum 2 listening tests.
Daily minimum of 2 listening tests. Was this during lockdown?
No, whenever, I mean,
Just at,
maybe I started writing at some before 2 years actually. From 2018, I'm starting. I was attempting for IELTS.
wow. And
So
since then
yes,
you've been
1 month
doing.
preparation I used to take before writing the exam.
Say that again, sorry?
No, I used to take 1 month of preparation time.
Oh, I see. I see. So you took a month of work and dedicated it entirely to IELTS preparation.
Yeah, but then I should not say that entirely because I was working also simultaneously.
Oh,
So whenever I get time, I will make sure that at minimum 2 IELTS listening tests I will do daily, like that.
beautiful. Wow, wow. And by doing that, that's how you managed to get Band 9.
To be frank, yes, because I have not watched the movies or something. Yes, of course, people say that it's really beneficial to watch audios and podcasts and the other programs to improve the listening skills. But in my case, fortunately or unfortunately, I had no chance to do that. So I
Mm-mm.
only worked with the AdSense.
Yeah, totally, totally. No, yeah, I think there's 2 school of thoughts here. One is listen to stuff that you enjoy because you're more likely to remember it and you're more likely to do it more often. And then there's the other school of thought which you belong to, which is okay, I don't have that much time. I'm going to just get focused and do IELTS listening tests. And
That thing happened with me.
yeah, exactly. And I think I would probably go, depending on how close your exam is. If it's next week, obviously you don't want to be watching movies. But if
Yeah.
it's in 6 months, maybe you have the luxury of watching movies. I think it would. I think
Absolutely.
yeah.
It may not work with working class people. I honestly feel like that. I really wonder how people manage to watch movies and sit like that when we have an exam coming next week. We have no time for that. But
Exactly.
make sure that we are writing at least exams, 2 or 3 exams, preferably.
Say that again. Writing 2 or 3 essays a day.
Not essays. I was talking about listening part only.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Gotcha.
Essays, completely. I have started writing essays only because of the feedback.
Mm.
Before, I used to write essays once in a week or maximum twice in a week. That's it. Because that part is bit time consuming and we feel lazy for ourselves.
But it's also difficult, Linu, just to write an essay and then review it yourself. It takes a lot of motivation, and you don't even know what's going right and what's going wrong.
That's the part. After writing also, we don't have a satisfaction, whether it is worth 6.5 or 7. Who knows? We are not aware of the scores. Nobody is there to evaluate.
Exactly, yeah. Totally agree with you there. Yeah, that's a good point. Wow. So, moving on. Now that you've got this exam in your pocket and you've got this band 7.5 writing in your pocket, a band 9 in your pocket, what did you say you got for speaking?
7 only.
A 7, okay.
Yeah.
And then for the reading?
7.
7. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Now you are going to be applying for your Canadian, well, you're going to do your Canadian, the Canadian immigration process, right?
Yes, yes.
Interesting. How far along is that?
As the situation is there, we cannot predict anything. We are still waiting for the invitation. Anyway, the documents are there. So being hopeful that everything will be on time.
Wow. And then hopefully you can get to Canada and start a new life, no?
Yeah. Hello.
Beautiful.
Hello?
Hello, yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, fine. In between, the connection was breaking.
Oh, it's getting noisy now. It's getting noisy. Okay, then, Linu. Do you have anything to say to students who are listening to this podcast and are struggling with their IELTS scores?
Yes, I will say only one thing, because even 4 months ago, I was also a listener like many other candidates, watching videos and as well as listening to the podcast, even like the experienced candidates who scored the desired bands. So at that point of time, I never believed I will achieve the score one day or the other. But that decision I made to approach an online coaching with IELTS podcast, that changed my entire impression on the IELTS scores. Once I thought this is not achievable and I am going to leave this exams, I'll better go for some other maybe like a student program, student visa program, something like that, to get the plan done, to plan work with the Canadian immigration. But only because of this training and the feedback that I'm able to score these marks.
Beautiful.
So other than waiting, there may be people still waiting and listening to the podcast sessions. It is worth investing in something productive.
Beautiful point there. Beautiful. Yes. If you're listening and you're having doubts about it, then email us or just come and join the course, and hopefully we'll have you on the podcast and you will be a global star like what is about to happen to Linu. Isn't that right, Linu? Are you ready for your global stardom? Okay. That's everything. Thank you very much, Linu. You're an absolute star. Well done. And I wish you all the best for your Canadian immigration application.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Super.
It was nice talking to you.
Yes, likewise.
Thanks for listening to IELTSpodcast.com.